From water deep to Icewind Dale, unlikely friends fight tooth and scale. A little faith, a lot of rage, to bring the summer back again. Now roll the dice, see how they fall, don't waste your action. Bonus action. Heroes, tortured and trapped within the mist, hunted by horrors from out the abyss. We've seen friends fall, but must endure, survive to see the sun once more. Now roll the dice, see how they fall, don't waste your action. Heroes. Steve, let's
Hello.
intro over him.
Oh, you already did.
Oh, yeah.
You
Trash.
already did. You already did.
We're sorry.
This
It's a-
is
What is it? What is it? Please tell us.
Who knows?
action bonus.
Action bonus ice cream time.
Oh.
Oh yeah, no, you can't get ice cream.
The idea of having bonus ice cream means I've already had ice cream, and that's great.
Have you?
You're already experiencing the post ice cream glow.
I haven't, but I do have a Viennetta upstairs because it's the 90s.
Oh, a Viennetta.
Oh.
Right from the 90s,
Now you're
yeah.
talking.
Welcome to our era.
Just that Uber Eats just delivered a Viennetta for the 90s. You can really get anything, can't you?
Do you get a free shell suit with it, or what's the deal with the Viennetta?
It's cheap and tasty.
It is pretty good.
Viennetta
I'm
always
not gonna
reminds
lie.
me of disappointing Christmases.
Most
The
Christmases,
taste
isn't
of-
it?
The taste of annual disappointment.
Old Faithful, never let you down.
Wait, what flavour?
Oh, classic.
Just vanilla.
Classic. I do like a mint.
Yeah, same here.
Mental classic.
Do they do another flavour?
I don't like cleaning my teeth with my food.
There's a strawberry
Yeah,
one.
there's a strawberry
I
one.
think.
They do like a honeycomb or a caramel or something at some
they
point, but I
did,
don't think
yeah.
it was long lasting.
Did we get distracted that we're actually streaming right now?
I love
think
it.
this is the content that people want.
I love
About
it.
Viennetta.
I love it when we talk about the deep stuff. No, I'm not gonna
It's
lie.
weird that they can do like Viennetta on a stick,
What?
Oh, would you do that?
but it's like an ice cream lolly, but it's Viennetta. It's on a stick.
I think you'd
Okay.
need to do it like the corn on the cob, stick in each end.
They do
Yeah,
a
I think
birthday
you're
cake
right.
one.
I've had the birthday cake one is amazing. That's why I got this one. They swapped it. They substituted it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're getting a birthday cake Viennetta. That's decided.
On the cob.
Whose
Big on the
birthday is
cob.
it?
I just like a regular Viennetta tastes like annual disappointment. I like to every now lift myself up by pretending it's still my birthday.
You can have one on your birthday and have a biannual disappointment. Viennetta.
Well, hello.
Disappointments for life, not just for Christmas. Sorry, Matt, go ahead.
No. I just I don't know how to follow that up. I hope the game can live up to the Viennetta. Really, I don't think it will though. Never mind. Yes, hello, welcome to Bonus Action Heroes, where we talk about 90s desserts from the UK. Hi, Davey. You're probably wondering what a Viennetta is.
Disappointing yet amazing. That's what it is.
I feel like
Delicious, it's what it is. It's delicious.
I feel like I need to find an image now. It doesn't.
Do we think we can get Viennetta to sponsor us?
There we go.
Is it Walls?
We're not sponsored, but what is it? It's
We
just
wish we were.
basically ice cream with layers of chocolate in it, right? That's kind of layered. There you go.
Kind of all layered and wavy things with chocolate and lovely. Oh, it's so nice. So good.
It looks It doesn't look very good now. I'm looking at it, but it is good. Man devours a whole Viennetta on the train. He's living the dream. There you go. This is what it's all
Peak.
about.
I was
Oh,
on
look
the tube the other day.
Look at all
Oh,
those
no.
flavours. You can't see them, but the stream can. Davey's on his way to England now, just after seeing Viennettas.
I
There
was
you
on
go.
the tube the other day, and there was a guy with, one of those really cheap, like 2-litre bottles of beer, like it's like a Pepsi,
Yeah.
which, is always a bit. This guy's getting on my tube. And then, proper classy like, he got out a pint glass and poured himself a pint from
I'll
it.
give him some
And
credit
my,
for that.
Yeah.
my
Brilliant.
opinion changed
Just
instantly.
switched instantly, yeah. Now I was hoping you'd brought
A
two
glass
pints
glass,
up.
not plastic. A glass. He brought his own glass.
I'm always impressed when you get like the ladies who are out for lunch and they get on with their little bottle of wine, and then the plastic, like the quite hard plastic, the good quality wine glasses that come in 2 parts, so they just
Yeah.
click it together. It's like Swiss Army alcoholism.
Swiss Army.
Stay classy, Croydon.
Mm. I love the fact that the first 10 minutes of our stream is going to be photos of Viennettas, because that's what I'm putting out there.
Can I tell you another story about what I saw in London the other day, and then I'll stop?
Sure.
This weekend I was like in the Docklands bit, and
Yeah.
there was, I know they do this, but I've never seen them before. What I saw was what I can only describe as 2 homies, like proper white lads, can of Fosters, had a little captain's hat on, in a hot tub, going down the Thames. Just having a
Nice.
lovely time together.
In a
It was
hot tub.
adorable. Yeah,
They're
they
probably-
do hot tubs down the Thames.
Just what?
In hot
Just
tubs down the
drop them in
Thames.
the
They
Thames.
do
It
hot
just makes
tubs.
me very uncomfortable.
Probably have to do the big shop.
Britain.
I don't want to see like communal baths in the Thames.
But these 2 topless men with their Fosters, clearly just having a good time. I was so happy for them.
Yeah, don't judge.
I don't think there's anything more British than 2 men with the tops off drinking
It
Fosters.
was raining.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Were they
Oh, yeah.
were they
That
kind
just
of
tops it off.
skinny and wiry, or did they have a nice beer belly? Probably skinny and wiry.
I
right?
couldn't see because of the hot. They were,
Oh,
proper.
oh,
The
no.
hot tub comes up to.
Yeah.
While it's raining
Oh, look at that
in the
Viennetta.
Thames in October.
But this is the thing, though. I used to go surfing, and you go surfing, and it would start to rain, and everyone would get out, and you would be like, "Why are you getting out? You're already wet. You're in the sea." But no, at least those guys were just like, "It's raining. I'm in a hot tub. It doesn't matter."
I'd just be really worried that the Thames would get into the hot tub.
Then it would definitely be communal something that you had in the bathroom.
Oh yeah. Safe travels to work, Davey. We'll
Yeah.
we will be
Make
here.
me some content when you get back.
Yeah. We might actually play D&D at some point.
Yeah,
Talk about hot tubs.
yeah, yeah.
There's just some things I see in my day-to-day life that I store and go, the guys will want to hear about that.
You're right.
Put that in
You're
the pocket
so
for
right.
later.
Is it weirder you thinking, oh, I'll tell them that, or is it weirder the fact that I feel better for knowing that?
Yeah. I think Davey's happy to to see a Viennetta because
Well, I think
It's
we've
the new
enriched at least
experience.
one person tonight.
yeah, he's going to move to England now just on the basis of Viennettas, I think. But I mean, that was before hot tubs in the rain on the River Thames, which is the
We need to
muddiest
get, we need to
river
get
in
his
Britain.
postal address so we can send him some goodies.
Not a Viennetta. It might have melted
No,
by the time it
won't
gets
last.
there.
But I mean, what's it's a good?
What's
what's
it?
it
Yeah,
called? Yeah.
I like the crunchy ones.
Oh, but can we do a food swap? Can you bring me some
Yeah.
cookies and candy corn?
It's gone.
Everyone, he can hear you, but he can't
He's also
reply.
he's not agreed to this. Let's stop.
No.
Let's stop. Like,
Spicy.
Don't
Nick.
pretend like he's got a choice. Come on.
he's been with us for a year now. He should know better.
yeah, Davey, I know you can't reply, but you can listen. Yeah, we figured out that you joined us on our Halloween stream. Maybe it was the first or the second episode, I'm not sure. So that does mean you've been here nearly a year. and we would like to apologise to you, with all
So-
sincerity.
So
For
two
what? We're
things.
delightful.
Two
Oh, I
things.
know.
Congratulations. And what's wrong with you?
Can we not? I mean, I love Uta, but can we just make? I don't know how long Davy's commute is, but can it just be 5 people talking at Davy for the next for the entire
voices.
student's commute?
They're talking to me.
That's what we do with Uta anyway.
I
We're all
just say
just-
when
we're
you
just-
started saying thank you to Davy, then whatever Hazel was eating, it looked like she grabbed a cigar and started smoking it. I thought that's what she was doing until she took it away from her face and she was chewing. I thought, what was that?
I'm going to watch the stream on lag now to find out what it was.
Yeah, what was it?
Ooh. Oh no, she's
This
already
is
got
like-
the camera on mine.
This is like D&D Inception, like
Yeah. That's
Twitch
like
Inception.
that's like a twirl, that, I reckon.
Because then you're going to watch that, and then Steve on the stream is going to watch the stream,
Mm.
and then that Steve will watch the stream.
Was you drinking tea through a twirl?
That's good, or a Twix. It's good through a Twix.
It's tea through
Yeah.
a Twix. It's
Even
so
a even a Kit Kat's good. Drink tea
It's got
through
no
a Kit
holes in a
Kat.
Twix. How do you drink through a Twix?
You bite both ends off, and then you use it like a straw.
Does that
It's
even work?
amazing.
Is that
It's
even a thing?
amazing.
Oh
It's
yes,
a thing.
If
It
it's
works.
even better with coffee.
I just realised I've never lived.
You can do it with any
Wow.
kind of biscuit. Penguin works with a penguin. Did you know if you take the chocolate off a penguin, it actually
It's a
says
bourbon.
Bourbon!
It's a bourbon underneath. Davey, a bourbon biscuit is. You'll
It's a
find
grandma
out.
biscuit, but it's really good. I've appreciated them the older I've gotten.
Croydon's now full of American eateries. We just got a Popeyes, and they do a biscuit and gravy, so I want to see how it compares to a scone.
Oh, I
We
had.
Popeyes like a couple weeks ago, and it's an interesting coating on the chicken.
Interesting, isn't
Interesting.
necessarily a positive word.
It's just not.
Different.
Nice.
Yeah.
I've had
I'd eat it
biscuits
again.
and gravy. Still not sure what they were when I went to Michigan.
Because they're not
a
quite scones. are
Turkey
they?
dinner, which comes in what I can only describe as a mound. It was like potato and turkey, and then there was biscuits and gravy, and I'm still not sure what they were. Kind
I
of
like
like
white gravy.
weird halfway house between a biscuit and a scone and a bit of bread. Kind of worked. Probably saying heathenous things.
Hey, does anyone
Do it.
fancy D&D?
That's a good idea.
Kind of focused on the food now.
I'm
Yeah,
starving
I
now.
am hungry
Yeah, my
now.
curry's just arrived. Let's get even
Nice.
more British.
Yeah, there's nothing more British than food from other countries, but America can probably associate with that too, right?
Curry and Viennetta. My
Yeah.
goodness, V.
Yes.
Although the Balti was invented in Birmingham from all accounts.
Mhm.
So that is British, but not really. Anyway,
Chop
Out of the
suey's from
abyss.
Chicago.
what is?
Chop suey, because it's definitely American.
How
Nowhere
long do
else.
you reckon
There you
we'll
go.
get away with not letting Matt play this game?
I'm just going to close the server down.
Matt sent me a video on TikTok the other day of someone making mushroom sauce. And he doesn't know why, because I hate mushrooms.
We were talking
He
about
just started
beef
just
bourguignon.
sending everything to me.
We were talking about beef bourguignon, and he was making the mushroom sauce for it. It was
That's
nice.
not a beef bourguignon. What the hell have you
Well.
had as a beef bourguignon?
So you do know about mushrooms then.
That's a
Been lying to us.
wine-based sauce.
It is wine-based, but that was a wine-based sauce that I sent you.
Mushroom wine.
That was creamy. Yeah, that was like a creamy white wine. That's not, it's a red wine. Right, you and I are making a steak and Stilton pie on Saturdays, so we're gonna do a proper red wine
Why?
sauce.
Okay.
Because I've got the ingredients because I wanted to.
Okay, fair enough. I'm not going to argue with that.
Beef bourguignon.
You like beef bourguignon? Incidentally, on the theme of Dungeons and Dragons, there is a character in the Drizzt books, R.A. Salvatore, who is called Berth Bourguignon, which is the most irritating name for a character for me, because all I can think whenever that character has a line is that his name is Beef Stew, which is really frustrating.
Yeah, I
but
would just
it's
refer
quite
to him
funny.
as a beefy boy.
Beefy boy, yeah. Well, it's more of a
It could be
Berthy
Stew,
boy.
short for Stuart.
Yeah. I'm guessing that R.A. Salvatore either has got a very good sense of humour or thought that no one outside of America would read his books. But either way, there is a character called Berth Bourguignon, and it is literally the French spelling of Berth Bourguignon.
That feels like a Pratchett thing to do.
The character is quite unironic. That's what I like about him most. But yeah, there you go. So, shall we start? Or has anyone got any more food stuff they want to get out?
I'll let you know as we're going.
Think of food stuff and I can't, so just go for it.
Okay. Yes, Out of the Abyss. What happened in the last episode? Rodin investigated the theory that there was a succubus on board and wandered about the ship reading the minds, albeit at a surface level, of those on board. Discovered that the crew were not as confident as perhaps they appeared. Some of the goblins were not as skilled or as interested as perhaps they portrayed. Most of them didn't know what they were doing. So there was some delightful interactions, encouraging goblins to do art and uphold the law and all sorts of random stuff that only ever seems to happen with you lot. That was not planned or written. You continue to sail on, sailing into the tunnel towards what you hoped was Neverlight Grove. And as you did, there was a strange corruption in the water. Something was killing the life within it, making the waters dirty, murky, pungent, and corrupted.
Was it the Tory government?
Probably, yeah. It's Severn Trent water dumping sewage into the sea. Yeah.
Banter's on point tonight.
No. Topical, political. Ooh.
Ooh.
It's got everything for everyone.
Yeah.
Well, mainly only the British, to be fair.
I'm sure everyone else has the same problems with their governments. Some strange... This corruption seemed to clear, and you saw something dart through the water which seemed to have this trail of corruption behind it. And then a short time later, a creature crawled up on the side of the ship and hoisted one of the goblins over, devouring them in the process. Then you sailed through the tunnel, nothing really happened, and eventually you came to a tributary and the boat ran aground and you took off on foot. Where Stool was excited to leave, you ran through, you made your way through the tunnel and you found yourself in this beautiful terraced cavern, quite large, but not huge, not on the size of Gracklestug or Slubladoop, probably only 100 to 150 residents. Beautifully terraced, purple, blue and orange lights everywhere. Huge towering mushrooms that seemed to react and move at your presence as you made your way in. And eventually you made your way to the centre of the cavern where you saw two huge myconids. So big that they may make Derendil look a little shorter even. You made your way to the centre where you met Basidia, a blue-capped myconid, 9-10 feet tall, absolutely huge, and he bid you welcome to Neverlight Grove and offered you rest, recuperation, and friendship. So I will, unless I've missed anything, I will hand over to you for your latest recipe.
So you want to brown the butter off?
Have we rested?
You have not
Or he's
rested,
offered
no.
us rested.
Yeah, he's offered you the hospitality of the Grove. You can see on this mound there is lots of tiny streams that seem to run into the centre. So the ground is quite marshy. There's a few raised areas. You see 2 of these huge myconids. They're much bigger than any other you've seen, 9-10 foot tall, easily. One has a blue cap, these weird, like 6-fingered hands with like blue tips. The other one has this strange fan-like head which extends upwards and is sort of orangey red. They both seem to be stood on this central mound with a number of smaller, more 5-6 foot tall myconids stood around.
Only Basidia's spoken to us so far. Basidia, sorry.
What brings you, Softus, to Neverlight Grove?
Muted.
I bloody well shouldn't be.
You have to speak inside your head. You speak outside your head, no noise can be heard. But we have no ears.
We've been travelling for a number of reasons. And we were hoping to bring Dawn back to his home. We also wondering if you would be able to help a friend of ours. She helped us all and kept us all safe. However, during the last day of the journey, there was an attack, and unfortunately, she fell in that attack. And Stool was very. He cared for her, and he mentioned that you may be able to help. You may be able to bring her back, renew her life, not in another form but in her own. Would that be at all possible?
You see this huge myconid tilt the head, and the cap sort of, it's very sinewy and thick. There's no flex in it. It's strange. You see tilt and just observe you, and the second myconid, this too is huge with the strange fan exuding from its head.
Welcome, dear Softers. You are most safe and most fortunate to be here at this wondrous time. We can give the dead purpose again.
It is not that she requires purpose in death, it is that she requires her life back. Her mission is not yet complete, and she is not yet ready to fertilize the land.
We do not know such things. When the end of life is reached, you may have purpose for a time, and then your purpose is to feed the soil and feed those who are left behind. We can offer this to those you have lost.
No, Stoll said that you could help. He said that you had knowledge.
We have knowledge of the great cycle of things. The Great Cedar may be able to answer your questions, but we cannot.
the Great Cedar?
Yes. She is in the caverns beyond. She is not ready. Give audience. But she can answer your questions, I'm sure.
How do we speak to the Great Cedar if he's not ready for audience?
Well, you must not speak with the Great Cedar until the time is right. She waits in the garden of welcome for those who seek her wisdom. And I would ask that you do not visit the garden until a full cycle has passed so that we may guide you there.
You see it turn and gesture to the back of the cavern. You see this huge, again terraced. You can see this mushroom forest is obscuring whatever is behind, but above it you can see this huge mushroom. It's bigger than the biggest tree you've ever seen. Hundreds of feet up into the air. The cap is huge and gives off this light pink glow that extends out quite far across the cavern. And it gestures and seems to bow in recognition of it.
When will the next cycle pass?
Basidia, who somehow you know the name. You're not sure how. They haven't told you, but you know that the blue-capped myconid is Basidia, and you know somehow that this red fan-headed myconid is Philo. Basidia will... You feel his presence push into your mind.
Do you not have cycles, Softer?
I suppose we do. I'm just not sure which you mean. The cycle of the moon, the cycle of the seasons.
I think if we was to
Moon.
get some food and maybe sleep, I think we're going to be somewhere near.
Seasons. Tell us of seasons and moon.
I don't know if you have them in the Underdark, but on the surface, where I'm from, we move through seasons where the weather changes from snow, which is like cold water, frozen water.
What is frozen water? Tell us of frozen water.
I'm gonna be here a while.
There's actually some not far from here. We passed through some.
I just focus on the image and think of like temperature and fluctuations and water freezing, but doing it like rapidly, and try and.
Has Drodin got any? Could he prestidigitate or something as an example of changing temperature?
They're in our heads. We should be able to just the same way that we know their names. So I'm going to try and.
Yeah. Okay.
I can minor illusion. But I think Malice understands how to communicate.
I was trying.
You see, well, you feel them. You see them sort of almost lean back, as if they're observing you, taking a bit more distance, both at once. And there is this sense of, it's almost childlike wonder at this strange thing, the idea of the moon and seasons and frozen water. They have not seen these things and don't understand the concept. They seem to be silent, pondering what you've said to them. And then Basidia will speak again.
What is it you seek here? Your friend's life is over. We may give them purpose if you wish it. They may work the land and then they may give our sprouts life. This is the way.
This isn't the way of her kind, so I think we will have to politely decline.
Do not understand. Life, then death, then purpose, then soil. This is the way of all things.
Be such a linear route.
I think we're saying the same thing. I think we understand what we're saying, and I think what we're asking for is to extend the period of time between a transition. So yes, she will eventually die, but we would like to extend that period of time before she does die and continue the cycle you speak of. Is that possible?
If they have died of age or illness, they have not drank deep, they have not sustained their bodies, then their time is done.
This one died in courageous battle, defending what she believed in, what she loved. Was Stool. Many times she fought on his behalf to protect him, to preserve his life, so that he could return here and fulfill his usefulness.
Then we are thankful to your friend for saving our young and giving their life. But we cannot intervene. It is not the way. Perhaps this great cedar will know of such things and a way to cheat the cycle of life, death, purpose, and soil. But we do not.
Can we afford to wait a cycle here and ask the Great Cedar, or should, I mean, if these obviously very wise Myconids know not of a way to restore our friend, then perhaps we should leave as quick as possible and return to Grapplestone.
You see the blue-capped one turn. You see 3 Myconids behind. They seem to silently wander off to different parts of the cave system. And this blue-capped one you know to be Basidia. Again, you don't know why you know their name. It's almost like it has just been inserted into your head. It's very strange. Will turn.
There was more softers came here.
The kobolds?
What are kobolds?
I'll point at
Just think it.
Serdi.
Softer.
I'm a kobold, but what did these softers look like that came this way?
like softers.
Bit racist.
Flesh. 2 legs, 2 limbs.
Were they large, like our friends here? Gesture at Seven and all the drow members.
The size of these, yes. This one
Oh.
and this one.
Do you recall? Did they give their names?
They were here just 2 cycles ago. 2 cycles.
And Basidia, as he's talking, you feel the second Myconid almost like force into the conversation.
They left within a day. They were... How would you understand? From a circle of hunters. They sought, and they left.
What did
Quickly.
they seek? Did they say?
More softers, I think.
Yeah.
Can Hazel, can you roll me an insight check, please? Just because I think you seem to grasp them in a way that the others don't perhaps yet. You definitely sense that Basidia has become uncomfortable during this part of the conversation.
Find spellings of their names, please.
Sure. If you hover over them, you should be able to see their names.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Thank you.
Um,
So, who's the one who's told us that they were hunters and they left within a day?
Philo.
Philo. Okay.
Yeah, Basidian mentioned that Softers had passed through, and then Philo has said that they left within a cycle.
Didier is the blue cap, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Could you show us what they looked like in our heads?
They look like softers.
I see.
We have not learned how to differentiate.
Which direction did they leave in? Did they seem
No.
to head back towards the lake or away?
You see the second Philo sort of interject. He just seems to just hold these weird sinewy arms out in what almost looks like a shrug.
They leave. They were softers, in size as this one. Sevatar, this one. Malice.
You feel them like pluck your names out of your head. It's weird.
Were you able to gather their names from them?
Zinaya was one. The others did not meld.
Is Zinaya the female hunter tracker that was following us in Grapplestug?
Yes.
Yeah.
How did they get ahead of us?
They could have multiple parties. You have the scouts that go ahead, and then you have a secondary group that follows up just in case we're missed by the first.
It sounds like they were looking for us. So you should know that they're the people that took Stool, and you shouldn't help them if they ever come back.
Please keep him safe.
They can't tell the difference, Tink.
If they recognize the name Zanaya again,
We
they're
shall
not
not
friends
help
of your.
Zanaya. If Zanaya is enemy of Stool, I must leave.
Maybe
I must leave. This is the cycle of work. I must work. If you
which
need,
one's that?
Is Basidia.
Philo, can we stay and ask you questions?
of course, Softers, you are most welcome. You are most appreciated. You are here at a wondrous time. A wondrous
There's
time.
a special occasion?
Yes,
What's
cannot
the
be
event,
revealed.
Philo? Oh,
An event beyond all others, the Great Cedar, and her union is to be announced.
oh.
Transformative.
Well, congratulations to you all, I suppose.
A new age for our people is upon us, and you are here to witness the wonders of the Great Cedar.
You say we can meet the Great Cedar in a cycle?
Of course, the Great Cedar would be most keen to meet more Softers.
When does this union take place? Are we allowed to know?
That is for the Great Cedar to decide. Aramikos and the Great Cedar are to be wed.
Sorry, who?
Aramikos and the Great Cedar to be wed.
Is
It
that
is-
another mushroom? Myconid?
No. Maybe. I don't know.
We heard that name before.
Anyone from the Underdark can roll a history check.
Has Basilis gone out of view yet?
Has who, sorry?
Basilis, Blue Cap.
Yes. Yeah, well, he's not out of view, but he's like slowly wandering off. He does seem to
looking
glance
for
back over his shoulder as he does so.
I'm looking to make an excuse with Philo and leave, and I want to try and follow Basilis stealthily. So I'll
Okay.
say to Philo, would you mind if I explored? Am I free to move around your about your dwelling here?
You
It's
just
it's beautiful, and I'd love to perhaps take in some more of the sights.
you see this. He just gives this long bow of his head. You feel a sense of permission.
Thank you so much. I will enjoy. And I'll bow in return, show some respect. And I would like to stealthily follow Basilis to see where he's going, if he does go to work or if he meets anyone along the way. So follow as much distance as I possibly can while still keeping him in line of sight.
Okay, you stealthing or are you just...
Yeah. Well, stealthing. Yeah, stealthing. I'm not going to blend into any crowds because I'm humanoid, so it's going to have to try and be proper stealth, I suppose.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, if you want to stealth, roll me a stealth check. If you're not worried, don't.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to be suspicious to anybody else. I'm not going to be like hiding behind stalks, but I'm just going to be deliberately interposing things between me and Basilis. So,
what did we get?
29 total.
Okay, yeah, the party probably lose sight of Sev there. Sorry, I'm just sending Hazel a message.
Virtual whispers.
Whispers.
Yeah, you see Basidia just seems to walk to the edge of the cavern, follows one of these trickling streams that meets in the middle of this cavern, and walks up to a myconid. This one is probably more your size, like between 5 and 6 foot tall. 1.6 meters, 1.9 meters, somewhere in that region. Again, sinewy and strange looking, but you realize as you walk away and your mind disconnects that it is just so utterly silent in here. If you've ever been on a mountain in the middle of nowhere, don't know if you've ever heard that complete lack of sound. I've only experienced it like 2 or 3 times in my life for real. And you
He
realise...
lives in Wales, of course he has.
Yeah. You just... There is just nothing other than... And even because you are so stealthy, there's not even any sound from your feet. You are being so quiet. These myconids seem to just make barely any sound either. There's a slight sound of creaking as you pass by these huge mushrooms. Mm-hmm. You almost feel like you're being watched by them. But you're so stealthy, you don't think that could be true. And Basidia walks up to this myconid, and you just see a little puff of spores. Shit. And hear nothing.
Okay. This other myconid that he's, inverted commas, speaking to.
Yes.
Any distinguishing marks that will help me identify him in the future? Marks or, I don't know, anything distinguishing about him? Or it?
It kind of has a beige head with like a purple stripe that goes up its face and then splits in two across its eyes. So it's like a purple Y on its face.
Okay. Yeah, I'll keep some distance, and then if they part ways, I think I would perhaps then follow this Y face, and so on until I come to a dead end.
Okay.
Or it becomes dangerous.
Yeah, it doesn't feel dangerous. There is no. You realise as you're thinking that none of them are armed. This first one with the Y on the face, definitely they're having a conversation. You can only assume because one of them is gesturing, and the smaller one gestures to a tunnel that leads out of the cavern. But pretty much no one you see here is armed. The small one has got a dagger, but it looks more like a tool than a weapon.
Okay.
And as you follow Basidia around, he seems to walk to a part of Neverlight Grove where there will be quite, a 6-foot-ish myconid, and there'll be a number of slightly smaller ones, perhaps working. You'll see one of them seems to be almost like has a hoe and is almost tending to the soil. You can see lots of different mushrooms growing in very precise rows, all different types in each row. Again, they seem to stop and have a conversation, and you see the smaller one, and this one kind of has like a cap, but half of it is missing. And gestures at the mushrooms and the fungi and the different lichens that are being grown in very ordered things. And after a few minutes, Basidia continues to walk, and it goes like that really all the way around. It would probably only take you 30 minutes for that cycle. You see another area where there is another myconid that has it almost looks the same as the farmer area, but there is tiny little mushrooms. They're like absolutely minute. They have the telltale colours and signs of the myconids, but these don't seem to have faces. They don't seem to be moving. They are just being very, very tenderly cared for. You can see one of them has got like a sponge-like item and is sort of gently moistening them one by one, very, very carefully. And you continue round and you find that there is little groups that all seem to have individual jobs, and they are just quietly going about it.
Okay.
Veronica looks horrified.
Just
Not too suspicious, I guess.
2 things. I looked at the chat for a moment and then I came back. Did you say moistening?
Yes.
Okay, fine. And secondly, I just want to disrupt the lovely quiet if I can. Is Sev still within 120 feet?
Probably.
Then hopefully at a very, very tranquil moment, he'll just hear in his a voice in his head saying, Sev, where did you go? Are you peeing? You shouldn't pee on the mushrooms.
How do I respond to that? Can I think a response, or do I have to speak?
You have to... It's a whisper only I can hear.
I think they might actually like some pee, but no, I'm not peeing on the mushrooms. It's fine. Don't worry, I'll be back in a minute. It's fine.
I don't bother responding.
What would everyone else like to do?
Great Cedar is marrying who?
Aromikos.
Aramaica, so that's the one that they're marrying. They're not, because I got it confused in my head as to whether the Great Cedar was Aramaica or whether. Okay.
Can we have the spelling of that name too, please?
Araumycos.
Okay.
Is Aramikos sentient? Because I know that like myconids are myconids, but is Aramikos a fungus?
You asking the GM?
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. Yes. It is a.
Malices.
It is that. It's a huge fungus. I mean, you got 21. It is a huge fungus. It stretches over half a huge area of the Underdark. It's immeasurable. No one's ever measured it. Maybe up to 100 miles. It is ginormous, this fungal growth. And some scholars have mused that it may be sentient. It may even be the biggest mind in all of Faerun, but no one's proven it.
Mushrooms are not in the way that the myconids are.
I mean, myconids are fungi as well.
Yeah, but
they are
they've got
different.
character.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Aramikos is not a moving, sentient creature that wanders about. It is a huge fungal growth, effectively, that just stretches over miles and miles.
Okay. Okay. Is Philo still with us?
Mm-hmm.
We're still just, and it's okay. Excuse me, Philo, but if Basidia needs to go off and work, may I just inquire as to what your role is, if that's not too presumptuous?
Of course, I am the sovereign of Neverlight Grove and always has it been so. Basidia is new. He was ejected from his home, and I use his because I sense this is a word you use, although I do not understand it. Basidia's people needed a home, and we have merged, and so we have two sovereigns.
Do you also work the land?
I lead the Circle of Masters. I prepare the Great Cedar. I prepare the Garden of Welcome. I would give you the freedom of Neverlight Grove, and I would ask only that you do not enter the Garden of Welcome before it is permitted.
Of course, we wouldn't dare trespass.
Good. Then you may go where you wish. You may speak with whom you wish. Just do not enter the garden for a cycle. I will show you when the cycle next turns.
May I ask you, if you are the sovereign of the Circle of Masters, what circle does Basidia belong to?
Basidia is also a sovereign. The Circle of Masters is a new circle.
And as you're having this conversation, you see a familiar little toadstool come running up. Quite energetic compared to a lot of the myconids, which sort of slowly meander around. There's no rush. Stool is quite different. It's definitely bouncing along. And he seems to stop by you all and is just kind of like dancing around, seems very happy.
Are you happy to be home?
Yes,
Is it what you dreamed of?
yes, it's changed, but it's nice. And everyone is here, and there is lots more sprouts, so when they are ready, I can play with them. And I will teach them about cooking and stabbing and creepy dolls and big two-headed apes in water and what were they? Dwarves.
Don't scare them when they're too young. Once they're a bit older, and they need to be hardened to the realities of existence.
Realities.
What it is that we experience.
Very hard not to share everything.
I know, but you want to look after people, don't you?
I was speaking with others and they said that I must share because that is the way of things. We share everything. And then we are one and it is joyous. So I have to share, I've been told.
I will
Can't
not
keep
stand in the way of-
secrets.
I know, and I will not stand in the way of the ways of your home. Still, are you part of a circle?
No. Not yet.
Do you-
When I get bigger, I will be given a circle.
Is there a circle that you want to join?
I want to join the hunter circle because I like going outside now.
And you're so experienced at it.
I am like the most famous adventurer in all of Neverlight Grove now.
And I'm sure you will make an amazing hunter when you are grown enough.
Yeah, I've fought Bupedos and big dog people.
Am I back yet?
Yeah, you're back. I didn't win the Bupedo fight, but I survived.
And he is no longer living.
No.
So really, you did win.
Yeah.
Hey, Stu. It's good to see you again. If you just said that nobody keeps secrets and everybody shares everything, you must have learned lots of new things about things that have changed since you've left. Are there new Myconids here? Do you know where they came from?
Well, when we need more myconids, we do special spores, and then they grow.
But some of the Myconids here weren't grown here. They came from elsewhere, or did I misunderstand that?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Those ones, where did they come from?
North.
North. Do you know
Yes.
what's north?
Lava. Their house. Is it house? Their house where they lived got filled with lava, so they had to move.
Oh no.
Go south.
And do you like these new Myconids? Are they friendly?
They seem nice.
Okay.
The circle builders seem to be talking about building things like there was in Gracklestug and Schlubldoop, and that's not right. Weird.
Like houses and things, you mean? Buildings?
Bigger.
Oh, like a fortification or like a castle? That type of thing?
Yes, like a fortification.
Oh, wow.
Right, bye. And he runs off
Bye.
again.
Bye.
Veronica looks pained by it.
I think I hate it here. They're so hard to talk to. How was your wee, Sev?
It was fine.
Okay.
Not the best, not the worst, but it's just a wee.
Not a funny colour. I hear it goes funny if you don't eat right when you're at sea.
No, it was okay. You just need to stay hydrated.
Malice, you should show Philo your bag of dirt.
Oh well, it's now mostly empty. There's the plot on the ship. It's mainly there. There's only a few mushrooms growing in it now, and I think these ones might actually be edible.
Maybe Philo can tell us.
Maybe.
We have all mushrooms here. If you wish to eat, then you may eat. This is the work cycle. Then there is the melding cycle, and then there is sleep. You may eat in the melding cycle.
Will it be obvious when it's the melding cycle?
Yes.
Okay.
Where can we rest? if we wish to wait and speak to them?
Upon the ground.
No specific place.
It is moist and pleasant.
So it is.
This is the way.
Is the way.
I wanted to ask, we had a friend who looks like my friend here, and I'll point to Serdi, who said they delivered a click-clack to you.
I know not of a click-clack. Visidia may know such things. I am busy with preparations. If your questions are ended, then I will continue with them.
Maybe we can talk more during the melding cycle.
Yeah.
Of course. Enjoy the freedom of Neverlight Grove. Wander where you wish, except for the garden.
I might have a gift for you guys here. Some fertilizer. Is there any particular place that you want me to deliver that to?
The circle of growers.
Right. I'm pretty desperate.
You just went, Seth.
Different one. Different one. Different number, Tink.
Thank you for your time, Sovereign Philo.
Go in peace and await the wonders of the Great Cedar.
And it turns, you feel that your mind disconnects. It turns and slowly wanders off.
Oh, very strange.
Malice, can I be allergic to spores? My head hurts.
You can be allergic to anything. There is
No.
nothing in existence that it's impossible to be allergic to.
Start scratching my metal arm.
They just don't seem to have. I mean, it's very strange, isn't it? On one hand, they don't seem to have any boundaries. They seem to not be bothered where we go, except for this one place.
You know, that makes me really want to go there.
What are they exactly?
But we mustn't go there. This is the way.
Well, we could go there, but we just can't go in there.
Oh, you mean go and look in from the outside?
Maybe, if that's possible.
It's technically not breaking the rules.
Could not piss off the mushrooms.
They said we could go anywhere as long as we didn't go in the garden. If we don't go in the garden, then we're going anywhere.
Right.
I would like to find out more about these circles.
It's very hard to draw.
I find it quite odd that there is a circle of masters and that it's a new circle. From my understanding, that seems to go against the image that's still built for me of Neverlight Grove.
Still doesn't seem to have any issue with whatever he's discovered on his return.
Very few people have issue with their own family until they know better.
What are you feeling about it, Malice? I mean, why are you? It seems to have.
Coming
worried.
here, everyone would be equal. I knew that there were different levels of power, there was the sovereigns, but there's something of masters that it reminds me of home. And he said it was new. Why would it be new? They've had a new community join them.
But where was this community from?
And why it I may be overthinking it, but it seemed to be implied that it's since this joining that the Circle of Masters came into being. Why is it when a new community joins that they adopt a hierarchy?
Is it normal? I mean, if this cedar, this great cedar has been around for as long as it seems to have, I mean, the size they... Is it normal for it to join to something? Who is this Aramikos?
The Aramikos is just... It's a fungus. It's vast and...
How does a mushroom marry a mushroom that isn't the same kind of mushroom? It can't give consent.
Well, we don't know if it can't. I don't understand it fully, but it is not just a plant. It grows and it may have sentience. And oh, Vianetta. It grows and it may have sentience, and it is connected to the life of the myconids, but I find the chain of events questionable. Why is this happening now? Storm made no comment on this. There was no... He didn't want to return for the ceremony. So, was it not happening then? Is this also a new change?
It does seem to be a new turn of events, doesn't it?
There's so much going on that we've not fully grasped yet, and I just... Considering the events that we have dealt with so far, I just think that we should not walk into this blindly.
I mean, this is unusual. That's given what happened in Gracklestew, in the King's Palace, and why many of us are here in general in the Underdark. Then perhaps we should pursue it, but find out more. But do we have time now? We are on a... How much time can we spare before we head back, for Elder's sake?
How many days did Stone Speaker Hagram say we had?
10 days?
10 days. And this is going to be a day, isn't it? So we're going to have 9 days left? Realistically.
Well, you've already had a day at sea since then.
Yeah.
So you have used gentle repose, so you may have longer than 10 days with that.
But we don't know for
You can
sure.
always cast it again.
Yeah, but we also don't know for sure exactly what the limitations of what Stone Speaker Hagram can do. So it's best not to risk it.
And in amongst all this other weird stuff that you seem to be suspicious of, why would mushrooms need a hook, Horror?
Well, why would mushrooms need fortifications? And this all brings us back to the changes that we're seeing all across the Underdark with these manifestations of demons, and it seems like a confrontation is brewing, or a culmination, or something's going to come to a head, and I think everyone's preparing whatever side they fall on to make sure, or to try and survive it. And it may be that these folk know something that can help us. Why are they building fortifications and weapons when they've never done so before? What do they know? Is that useful for us?
Aramicus is vast. It's beneath the entirety of the High Forest that goes from Menzoberranzan to Chednazad. It's a pathway or a connection that I don't truly understand it, but maybe could they gain influence through it?
I don't know, but if it's as vast as you say, and there's some sentience there, if not influence, although maybe that's possible, I would suggest that some sense of perception, at least, they would have. It's like almost like an early warning system.
And also, so if they use the spores that they use for communication, if mushrooms, when not sentient such as the myconids, they also release spores.
Mhm.
It could be weaponized. It could be. I hope I am just being paranoid.
But I mean, who are we to judge if one grown-up mushroom loves another grown-up mushroom? They truly love each other, and what does it matter?
Seem normal to you? Does the chain of events and everything else we have witnessed up until this point make you feel that this is a love story?
I think I'd like to reserve judgment until we've met with the Great Cedar.
How long do we wait to meet with the Great Cedar?
One cycle.
And what is that for us?
Day. It's gotta be. I think we rest up. We've been on the road a long time. We rest up. We've got into a few scrapes too. Rest up, eat some food, whatever that might look like. Recover, because we're going to be running again shortly, and we should take advantage of the respite. And try and get as much, in the meantime, while we're here and waiting, get as much information as we can about this network fungus and motivations for new activity. Why? I think that's going to be useful for us.
Sounds sensible.
I came here thinking that we were going to find a place where everyone felt connected, and first thing we seem to be faced with is a disconnect. Basidia did not like what we were being told by Philo.
How could you tell? They don't have faces.
You can feel it. When you are connected to them, you have to accept the feelings as well as the words. There are images and emotions. There are senses that we cannot experience with our bodies that come through, and if you block it out and you only get the words, you do not get the full picture. And you have to open yourself to it. I've practiced somewhat and I am getting better at it, but I'm still lacking. It might feel invasive, but there's a certain point where it just feels harmonious. And I could tell that Zydia was not comfortable with the turn of conversation.
I mean, we don't know what they told them. Why they were searching for us.
Could we perhaps try and speak to Basidia on their own then?
Maybe if the city will even talk to us, but you're right, why would the drow leave within a day? They would not give up that easily. They would find somewhere to stake out and watch. They knew that we had a myconid with us. They must have known that Stool would want to return home.
Well, presume that's why they came here in the first place.
Exactly.
So perhaps they are still here. He seemed very vague when he said they left. Maybe they're waiting outside somehow.
So have they seen us enter, or are they waiting for us to leave to ambush us?
If they were truly looking for you, then that may be the case, I guess. We should be cautious at least of that.
I do not think that they would miss the opportunity, though. If they were here, they would stay. They would ambush us upon arrival. We thought we were being followed. They shouldn't have been ahead of us.
Not necessarily. If they wish no quarrel with the myconids.
Yeah, they wouldn't do that here.
No, but they could have ambushed us before we entered, before the grove itself.
Perhaps that they needed to resupply first within the grove.
What if they are and it's just that we're not there? How far away is Hemeth?
Oh, 5-minute walk, not far.
I might do an anxiety checkup.
I shall come with you if you like.
I think we all should. It's safety in numbers at this point. They could be anywhere.
We could warn him. Well, I mean, we
We
want him to
should.
be on our guard. Would it perhaps be better just stay on the ship if it's a short walk away and come back here tomorrow to see the Great Cedar? I don't know. I'm feeling. This talk has got me feeling a little uncomfortable here, and it is very strange.
I would like to do some more digging around, see what we can learn.
If we were to leave, would you be willing to find your way back in without them noticing?
Certainly try.
So we could leave and they could witness us leave, and it might be able to provide you with somewhat more cover.
Unfortunately, there's not a great deal we can learn if they don't want to share it, because the only way we can communicate is via this mutual sharing of spores. So whatever we learn has to be given to us voluntarily. So I don't think I'm going to learn anything with just visuals. We need to speak to people and try and coax information from them, I think.
Should we have at least a look in the garden, look in from the outside before we depart?
It's the one place we've been warned of.
Not to go in. So
Yes. I don't know whether rooting around nearby is a safe option. It depends on how you would want to go about
Well,
it.
if that was an issue, they'd have said, but whatever you do, don't go rooting around nearby the Garden of Welcome. But they didn't say that. They said, don't go in the Garden of Welcome.
I really don't think, from what we've experienced, that semantics is a big point amongst these people. They probably don't see it different.
Perhaps not, but if you're suspicious of something untoward going on here that's changed, the one place it's likely to be is the one place you don't want us to go.
That is true. But maybe I've just spent too much time in Gracklestug and with the drow. I've grown suspicious.
Well, hopefully it is nothing. I mean, to be honest, we're talking about them building fortifications and acting unusually, but we know what's been going on elsewhere in the Underdark.
That sort of makes sense.
In that respect, perhaps it's just Myconids being cautious to protect their community here, which, I mean, can we blame them?
But that does bring us back to our earlier point, is if that's what they're defending against, how did they learn about it? What do they know about this threat? And is that something that we don't yet know about? Can we learn something new from these folks?
Should we return at the cycle of melding and see if we can speak to Basidia?
Yeah, let's skip the work shift. We'll come back for the eating shift. I'm all for that. Yeah.
We could kill two birds with one stone in that respect. Speak to him on his own, or them on their own, and also try and find out a little more about why they're preparing this way, if that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
Got a terrible idea.
You just said not to go into the Garden of Welcome.
This is not what I'm planning to do. I do apologise. I've doubled back round to our drow issue. Continue following us. We know that there is a team nearby. They can't be that far ahead. Now, I'm aware of Zinnia. I do not know her, but I know of her. I could contact her.
And say what?
That I'm willing to surrender, to draw them out. It would maybe give us the upper foot, the upper hand, the upper limb. I'm not quite sure about any of these
Would she
things.
even believe that?
I'm weak. I've been weak-willed my whole life. It's known within the drow. Maybe the running has become too much for me. Might be enough for her to believe. I could try to taunt him. No, it is a bad idea.
You think we could take them?
Let's keep it in the bank. But I wouldn't want to make it plan A.
No, I think that we could maybe handle a scouting party and buy us some time and some security. Cut off the connection to the follow-up parties.
I would much rather we determine where the fight happened, when.
I'm not saying it has to happen here. I'm not saying it has to happen now. It's not something I could do before, and I've not thought about it, but they're nearby. We know that we are ahead of the later pursuit because we were able to travel through the ice. If we're to fight them when backup is too near, then it adds further risks. But I apologise. That will be a problem
Makes
for another
sense.
time.
It's something we've got to consider at some point. It's no use burying our heads in the sand. It's not going away. First things first. Let's check on the ship, make sure everyone's okay.
Okay, you're heading back to the ship altogether.
Yeah.
Okay. It takes a few minutes to walk out of the cavern. Probably 5 minutes, and then another 5 minutes to the tunnel. You see the ship. Everyone bustling around on board.
How hidden is it, if at all?
It's not really hidden if you're in the tunnel, but it is slightly run aground. You would have to push it back out into the water, and there's not really anywhere else to go. So yeah, if someone comes the other way, they're going to see it. Likewise, Myconids coming along this tunnel would see it. It's not hidden at all.
What is the surrounding? Is there anywhere obvious that people could hide? Is it quite flat?
How do you mean in this tunnel?
Yeah.
I mean,
where the ship
You mean in
is.
terms of us getting ambushed when we return to the ship?
In terms of someone ambushing the ship.
Okay.
it would be very hard for someone to get into an ambush position because they would have to sail up so far, then climb along a wall. It does open up, and there is mushroom patches and quite big mushrooms that you could hide behind. But I'm not going to make you roll to suggest that it would be quite difficult for someone to sneak up and ambush you here. Maybe like sailing a ship up full whack and just ramming into you and boarding you.
But not a sneaky attack.
Not a sneaky attack, no.
I am going to give Hemith Garabs so that he can alert me if something appears sailing up that towards them.
Okay. Are you expecting trouble here? How do I use this scarab thing? What's it do?
You can say a message of 30 words or less. Help will probably do. That's the only reason you should use it. It's a rare commodity. Don't just use it to tell me. I don't know.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, we have Derendil is keeping watch, and some of the goblins are helping him, so we will shout at the scarab if anything happens. Yes.
Thank you. Also, we left them to get a bit drunk. How are they?
They've got this.
Yeah, you can see a couple of goblins like dancing, like doing what looks like a tango up and down on the deck. There's no music, but they're doing it anyway.
Morale's good. Love that.
You can see another goblin doing a painting. Got an easel up. It's just a completely black piece of paper.
And we don't have to roleplay this, but I know Hemeth wanted to see Neverlight Grove, so if anyone wants to take him in while I stay with the ship and then we swap back over, that's can happen.
Okay. Yeah, when I get a break, I'll come in and see it if you think it's safe. I hear these Myconids are very peaceful creatures. They don't seek violence or do anything without consent, so I hear.
Shall we return back to the grove? As we go back to the grove, if it's still in work cycle, can I see as we're wandering around if I can spot any softers that may either be working or being used as food?
Okay, give me a perception check. Being used as food. Yeah, you look around and you see you do see softers, but they're not like you. They look dead. You can see a few gnomes. You see a couple of gnolls. You see one or two drow. You even see some myconids, and they all seem to have these weird fungal growths on them. They are just slowly shuffling around, doing simple tasks, moving things, digging, that sort of thing. Yeah, now you look, there's probably 20 or 30 of them in the whole place with that roll.
Okay.
They are in effect spore zombies, so
Are any of them a hook horror?
no.
Yeah, I wasn't going anywhere with that. I was just curious to see if we could see any knocking around.
Yeah. You can't see any that are alive. They
Yeah.
all seem to be in this state.
Are
There's a
we
couple of
melding
goblins.
cycle?
Any kind of, there's all sorts of different creatures. Some of them even appear like lizard, like there's almost like a giant lizard, which is clearly dead as well. It's just being used as a beast of burden, but it's dead.
Is it melding time?
Doesn't appear to be. Are you waiting for
melding
melding time? You can form one big softer. The mega softer. I don't know.
If you bring us a kaiju mushroom, I will leave.
Kaiju mushroom.
Yeah, that's too much mushroom.
I might just try and jump
Wait,
in.
the great seed is the kaiju mushroom. Sorry.
Might just try and join in with some menial task, just to kill some time.
Okay. There appears to be you do see a variety of different things in different parts of the cavern. You can see people growing plants, harvesting them, applying fertilizer to the soil. You see small groups of myconids that are leaving the cavern, and then periodically they will return with the body of something that has died. It doesn't look as if they've killed it. It looks like they've just found it.
Roadkill.
Yeah, effectively. And they will bring them up, and some of them, if they're very old, will be put with fertilizer. Others, if they are younger, they will be kind of put in an area just left there with no real explanation. There seems to be to the south you can see what looks like there's almost like waterfalls coming down the walls, and you see quite a lot of quite large mushrooms, but no one really seems to be working there. They just seem especially large, these mushrooms, because it's incredibly wet. You can see off this way, the direction Philo went in, about here, you see a number of myconids that seem to be sort of tending to these very tiny mushrooms. Occasionally they give a little twitch and they move as if they're alive, and they are making sure they're moist and making sure they've got enough soil and all of that. And they're very gentle and caring in their tending. You don't see Philo walking around anymore, but you do see Basidia walking around. And then there's a circle just outside the middle where you can see this myconid who seems to be putting zirkwood, which is a kind of mushroom that's got a wood-like consistency, and almost like starting to build what looks like a tower or something. But he's not really succeeding, and he gets so far and it falls over, and you can see him standing and looking at it, trying to figure it out, and then you combine them in another way, and eventually that will fall down as well, like he's building a hut or a barn or something. But there are no buildings in this whole place.
Maybe we could go and offer some guidance there. That's more our thing. I'll wander over and won't speak, but try and offer a different example of how they might fit together to offer a more stable construction. To see if he picks it up or they pick it up.
Okay, yeah, you sort of give a bit of assistance without speaking. You see this strange mushroom. This one, as I say, has got like half of its cap missing. It doesn't look like it's been cut off. It's more like it just never grew. So it's kind of like a
Nemo.
Yeah, it's like a mushroom beret, really. I think that's the only way I can describe it. And stands back and observes what you've done, and you just see the of spores, and you feel the connection in your mind.
Greetings, Softer.
Greetings.
I'm Gaspard of the Builders. And you are?
I'm Sevatar of the Softers.
Yes, of the Softers. Your knowledge of constructions.
Well, I'm not an expert, but I've seen these things, possibly a lot more than you have, and maybe together we can perhaps build something a bit more sturdy.
Tell me of them.
I'll press down on the top and show that it doesn't buckle or collapse.
Tell me of buildings.
Well, I believe there are lots on the surface, and more, and again, down here in the Underdark, and there are cities that are full of these things, made by, you're using Zirkwood here, but some people use stone. It's a good material to use.
Tell me the dimension of stone that is used.
Oh, it varies, but foot cube is a good starting point. And I guess if you make them all the same, they fit together better, and if they have flat sides, they fit together better.
I dream of building a tower that will extend so tall, will reach to the sunlit lands. Is its way out of the Underdark.
Sounds like a fine dream.
Do you know of building such things?
I'm afraid I don't have the expertise for that. I've seen them, but I'm not sure I would have enough knowledge to build that. But it looks like you're on the right track.
I shall build a tower greater even than Igmorgus.
I'm sure it will be amazing for anybody who sees it. Why would you want to do that? Out of curiosity? What would be the purpose of it?
To build, break through.
You want to reach the surface?
Yes, the sunlit lands. With the aid of Adamikos, we can reach them.
Ah, okay. Do
Help
you
us,
know anything
help
about
us,
the
Softer,
sun?
help us build the things. Need the dimensions of bricks and stone. Wood. That we may build this thing, this great structure.
I will share what little knowledge I have, but let me share something else. Do you know what's up on the surface world? Do you know about the sun?
No. Tell me of the sun.
Well, it's very, very hot and very, very bright. You know the lights you have here that come from the mosses and other fungus that you have that allow you to see. It's like that, but many hundreds of times brighter. And the heat from lava maybe, or from flames, many times hotter than that. And both of those things aren't healthy for your type. Not sure why you'd want to get there.
I shall build it, and we shall see. I have great dreams of these things, great dreams of towers reaching up.
When did you start having these dreams? They sound amazing.
I have them every cycle.
Since when? Since always? Since you were a little baby mushroom?
No, just for a time. For a time.
How many cycles ago do you think, roughly?
50, 60.
Oh, so quite recent. It's quite the gift to have those aspirational dreams like this.
A gift from Aramicus.
And
I
how
shall
long
build
ago
it
did
in their
Aramicus
honor.
arrive?
Aramicus has not arrived.
It's always here, right?
Aramicus is vast. Aramicus is infinite.
Of course. How do you speak to Aramicus?
No, the great cedar will speak with Aramicus. I must build. Help me build now.
Okay.
And he starts putting them in these weird patterns you've showed him, and it does indeed seem to be getting higher. Seems to be holding together now.
I'll play in the sandpit with the mushroom.
Okay.
Yeah.
You spend a bit of time. Doesn't say anything else that makes sense beyond what has already been said. But yeah.
Okay.
Starts to build things, constantly like pestering you for, I don't know, you might think about a window and suddenly it wants to know what the window is, what it's made of.
Sure.
It's just digging at you.
How many other builders are there that I can see, if it's obvious at all?
You see a few Myconids sort of fetching and carrying things and dropping them here, but Gaspide is the only one that seems to be actually trying to build at the moment.
Okay. I'll share what snippets I've managed to glean from my spore conversation with anybody that comes within chatting distance of our party.
I'll be around. I would want to know this. So he said 50 or more cycles they've been having these dreams.
About wanting to build and reach the surface.
It's come from Aramicus.
I'm not sure he said it's come from Aramicus, but I think it coincides with his arrival. Well, not his arrival either, because he said he's always been here. He's endless. But as you said, all these strange things that seem to be happening seem to be recent, and 50 cycles is pretty recent.
Okay. I wonder how many cycles it has been since the two communities have joined.
That's a good question.
Maybe it's the joining of the communities has unlocked potential they didn't know they had, or
I just can't help but
maybe
feeling there's an ulterior motive here.
Yes, I do wonder if maybe it's opened a pathway for more nefarious ventures.
Did Stall ever mention this Aramicus to you?
No, he didn't. It's
The way you said that this Gaspide spoke of it, it sort of sounded quite worshipful, if that's the right word for it. like it was held in great regard, which would be an unusual thing for Stool not to mention.
And I can understand it being held in great regard. My understanding of it is very impressive, but there have been thoughts that it might have some sentience to it, but if this is true, if what is happening is happening, that is beyond what has previously been comprehended. And while Aramicus is impressive, you're right, it is not to worshipful levels.
There's definitely something strange going on here, then. I seem to be arriving at that conclusion.
It's just which way is the strange carrying? Is it coming into the community? Is it flowing out of the community? Is Aramicus just a conduit?
Well, hopefully Basidia can provide some answer, I guess, and maybe with time and back in the community, Stool could also help.
I've just got. I maybe I'm being too cynical, and I've been here too long. But what if Aramicus isn't even real, and it's a cover for something else?
So
You said it's
something
only
is
ever been spoken of in theoretical speculation as to if there's even a sentient set. So nobody even really knows if it's a thing, if there even is a sentient set. But somebody could use that and claim it to be the will of Aramicus and use that as cover and justification for doing something. What, I don't know. But
Hazel, just for your information, your knowledge of Aramicos, because you did get a good roll, is that it's probably way south of the Dark Lake. It covers an area far bigger than the Dark Lake.
okay. So
it
let me
it
just
isn't
go
in
for it.
yeah, it isn't in it shouldn't be in Neverlight Grove, definitely, and
Okay.
it doesn't move. It is like a huge fungal life form, effectively. That
Yeah. Like it can grow, but it's not on legs. It's not walking. It's not.
No, it's not. It's not a creature that you
It's
know
straight-
of.
it could be cover then. It could be
Yeah. So it's
a
in
fabrication.
the upper north dark of the Underdark is what you messaged me earlier. So that's
Yeah, which is kind of where you are now. There is a lot to the south. It extends quite close to Menzoberranzan, where you're from. I've lightened the map a bit so you can see that yellow patch
oh my life.
that extends up. Right, let me show
That
this. Let me
is-
show the stream.
That's a big shroom.
Yeah.
Like I've read about the funguses that grow on like the coast of the Americas, and they are impressive. And this feels like it is that kind of crazy.
There's talk of it being 100 miles long and 30 miles wide, but no one really knows the true size of it, because it may well go up and down as well.
So it's known of. We know it exists. It's been studied to a certain extent, but it's not comprehended, not truly. So it would make sense that it could be. Its name could be used in vain.
That's just my suspicion. There's something to be aware of, at least if we have further conversations. Just to have that in the back of our minds.
So what would have such delusions of grandeur as to claim its name and try to wed the Great Cedar. That isn't a normal criminality or usurping.
It's otherworldly. That's demonic, one might say.
Well, now we definitely need to find out what this is all about. This is what we're here for, to some extent.
Can any of us sense? Serdi, you can't you? If there's something nearby, something of that nature nearby, is that something you could do now, or?
I can
Or
try.
maybe when we get nearer to the cedar, depending on the range. I can't remember what range you have.
I mean, I can tell if there's something there in quite a long range, but
Okay. Oh, it's a mile, isn't it?
6.
6. Oh wow. Okay, yeah, that should cover it.
But I mean, I'll be honest with you, I'm exhausted.
Right. Okay. Well, let's take a rest. Let's sit down and relax while everybody else works.
Have some time to rest. Perhaps I can concentrate my mind and pick up some scent or something.
Okay.
And I'll use the time to create a tinfoil hat. And that's Hazel, that's
Yeah.
not Malice.
Yeah, but what are you doing in game?
I saw you comment in chat. Yeah, fungal conspiracies are all flowing now.
Hazel, like you haven't already got a tinfoil hat. Make one.
I need a bigger one. I need a series of them.
Can you make it with a big fan so it looks like that mushroom?
I was thinking more of a beret.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Very
No,
classy
that's
tinfoil
completely-
beret.
I started making notes and I've had to stop making notes because my notes
they're all
need
wrong.
extra notes.
Has it got red string and lots of
Yeah.
mushrooms?
And is your hair like that?
My hair is like that. Oh. Okay, so above table, let's just
Poirot the shit out of this.
I already have.
I just make sure we're all on the same lines.
I have no idea what's going on.
So
Doesn't
Tink's
leave
just
much room for doubt.
it's just mushrooms. What are you on about?
That's generally what I'm thinking.
Why are we
think
even
you've gone
concerned
too
about
deep.
this shit?
You've gone too deep into the mushroom conspiracy.
This is how they get you. This is how they get you to stay. You'll never leave.
this is the thing. I've also got Matt as the DM whispering in my ear, feeding into these fucking conspiracies. So
That's his job, man.
Which one?
I don't know, Matthew. I don't know.
Find out.
So above the table, I think there's a conspiracy that somebody is using the name of this giant fungus who is probably well known to these guys and probably revered on some level to do something nefarious. The Great Cedar, what that is, don't know. So they will gain influence over this colony and either use it to attack the surface if they're trying to get to the surface. Don't know, but the fortifications and the weapons.
Thing.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
it's almost
this
like a free
might-
army.
Yeah, it might link to the. It could have happened with the joining of the two communities. That could just be. No, it all lines up too much. So, joining of the two communities, one side. Oh, I don't even know. I don't know, but yeah, we don't trust the big non-sentient mushroom suddenly becoming sentient. We don't trust Matt because
No.
obviously don't. And then My brain hurts. My brain just hurts.
Oh,
So
sorry.
what are we going to do?
You've had some great ideas. You just haven't done any of them. All of you.
Well, it's not melding time yet. We can't talk to anyone.
No,
Okay.
but let's take. Can you get that spell on a short rest, Tom?
Long rest, I think.
Long rest. Let's start a long rest. Let's start one
Yeah.
going now, if DM allows.
Yeah.
If we're
Yeah.
if we're allowed to, because
I will allow it.
Sure.
8 hours. Yeah. If you're just going to spend 8 hours resting.
Are we
And
resting
eating.
in the grove or are we resting on the ship?
Goodbye.
On the ship.
think you want to lie somewhere moist. Okay, let's rest on the ship. I heard it. I heard what I said. I don't want to lie in the wet patch.
Davey says, just burn the village now.
We are not
This is
risking
solution of
storm.
thoughts.
Everything we've done, Davy, we're not risking my baby boy.
I'm on Davy's side, and I like stool.
Okay. Yeah, you spend 8 hours on the
It was
ship.
all real.
You spend 8 hours on the ship. There is no real disturbances other than a couple of drunk goblins, and so yeah, you have the benefit of a long rest.
I'll stay up getting drunk with some goblins, do some bonding.
Okay. Okay. You don't need a lot of beer because you're quite small.
Yeah.
You drink it out of a thimble or something.
She'll sit up on deck trying to sort of sniff around, keep my ears open, my nose open, and then when I feel suitably rested, I'll see if I've managed to pick up any scents.
Okay. So just tell me what your ability does.
So it tells me I can sense whether any aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fey fiends, or undead are present within 6 miles. It doesn't give exact location.
You roll me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Told you not to do it, Tom.
As Serdi is concentrating, anyone stood near to him will see his nose start to bleed. But you stay conscious. You feel overwhelmed for a second. You just feel this wave of something well beyond what you're used to sensing.
Oh shit!
And you almost lose consciousness, sensing
Should
this
guide you.
presence, and you somehow stay up. You just have a little trickle of blood coming from your nose, but you don't take it.
City, you okay? Does that normally happen?
Not normally. There is something. It's big. It's very big.
What can you tell? What type?
The fiend.
Yes. There's something fiendish around.
It's all tied together again.
It's just like the
Coincidence.
king's. It's just like in the king's court, in a way.
Look, if it's anything like what we saw at Slubler do, we're not equipped to deal with that now anyway. Do we need to just keep moving?
If it's this big, maybe it's Aramikos, like you thought, Sev. Maybe they won't attack. Maybe they'll just get married.
this is something this big and this unpleasant involved, then we can't leave them. I know we can't take them on necessarily, but we can't leave them in ignorance here.
Well, we need to not be in ignorance if we're going to do anything about it. Then we need to learn more, and exactly how it's whatever it is able to take root so insidiously without any of them noticing. And once we know that, maybe we can do something to warn them. But without proof or anything like that, then why would they believe us? We don't actually know what's happening yet. I think we're all pretty sure it's got something to do with this joining. Perhaps we need to stop that happening. Or at least draw attention to it before it happens. We need to learn more. We need to go to the Garden of Welcome. You can look in from the outside. What's the harm?
Maybe it's been a cycle now. I don't know what time of day it is anymore. We may have just fallen asleep at the end of lunch.
Let's go and have a look, see how far ahead they are with the preparations.
So, one question before we go back to the grove. You have blinked in and out of existence and travelled by doing so, yes?
Yeah.
Could you enter the garden in that way? For just a moment?
Not in a safe way.
Okay. I have a way that we might be able to remotely view an area, only for a short amount of time, but we would just need to place the item. And we could do that, but
Okay, hold that thought. Where's Drodin's moth? Is that of any use to us?
I assume she's always around the drift globe.
she's
Bumping
pretty much
into it.
unconscious by this point, yeah.
But don't forget you've got something, Steve.
Oh, that's true. Thanks for the reminder. I think
That's
they might
all
look
right.
a bit out of place down here, wouldn't they?
They probably would, but
I think a moth might be less conspicuous, but having said that.
I can't remember what his moth's called. George?
No, it's a girl.
Irvy.
Yeah.
Irvy.
Irvy.
I don't know, you spell it.
IRVY.
Yeah, that's not coming up.
Okay, can I just... So, with the spell Clairvoyance, it says you create an invisible sensor within range in a location familiar to you, or in an obvious location that is unfamiliar to you, such as behind a door, around a corner, or in a grove of trees. The sensor remains in place for the duration. It can't be attacked or otherwise interacted with. Does that mean as long as I've got an understanding of the location and maybe could view it some other way first?
I mean, you could...
I don't have to actually physically be with it when I create it. I can create it at a distance.
Yeah, you could create it the other side of the wall that you can't see over.
Okay, because
but if the wall's
5,280 feet.
It says what, sorry?
5,280 feet.
Yeah, all I need you to tell me is how far, if you're putting it the other side of the wall, how far.
Okay.
So that you don't put it in an 18-foot thick wall.
Good,
yeah. Yeah, effectively.
Okay. I'm not doing anything with that yet. I just needed to
Change the
clarify
music to something more relaxing. Hope that's okay.
Thanks for that.
We know I've turned the music off because I'm
Yeah,
already
I don't
stressed out
blame you.
enough. The idea of dealing with stressy music.
Okay. If you're going to cast it, tell me where you would like to put it.
I'm not casting it currently. I'm planning. I'm thinking.
Okay.
I might never cast it.
So, as you
Oh.
walk that way,
What the okay.
you see, Sev, you see these weird looking, huge things, almost as big as the sovereigns themselves. These weird, almost tentacly armored lobster creatures, but huge, armored. There are definitely signs of fungus growing out of orifices and on their chitinous armor, and they are stood blocking the way.
Okay. I didn't mean to intrude, and I spin on the ball of 1 foot and head 180 degrees in the other direction.
Okay. Yeah, there's definitely a path in within the walls, but two of these things are stood shoulder to shoulder, huge claws almost as big as you, held in the air.
Yeah, I was just trying to reveal some more of the map. Just to...
Are you glad
Picture.
you did?
Yeah, that's very illuminating. Okay. So is that the garden then, up beyond there?
Yes.
That's the garden there. Okay. So this wall here is the wall we're speaking about.
Right, yeah.
Okay, got you.
All along here.
What cycle are we in? I'll walk up to any mushroom.
You can see actually there are still some that are wandering around. The builder one, for example, is still wandering around, but yeah, there is huge circles of myconids sat in different parts. So there is some sat by the farm area, there's some sat by the building area, there's some sat on the edge of the cavern, the ones that seem to be collecting things from outside of Neverlight Grove. They just seem to be sat in circles, separate circles. You can see spores in the air around each circle.
Can I see Basidia?
You can, yeah.
Shall we go talk to her? Commune, sorry.
You can do if you wish to.
I was asking the others.
Yeah.
We wanted to know what happened to their circle and when. I want to know about the hook horror that may or may not be Yazva.
We start talking about the hook horror. That might be a good way in to see how willing they are to discuss with us.
Okay. What do we just walk into the spores? Is that rude? I don't.
I think if you approach, and then we can signal to them and they will either beckon us or
Okay.
I don't really know.
I will do that. Is that this one?
Yes, that is Basidia.
I'll walk up and sort of mimic the kind of bow that we saw Philo doing, and
Yeah, you see that Basidia is sat with a number of other myconids. They are sat in a circle. Spores fill the air. And as you enter the circle, you feel your minds connect. And it's like a web. It's just, there's multiple minds. You see images and you see like the day of work. You estimate about 8 hours of work playing through, almost each individual playing through what they've done that day. And you get this overwhelming sense of unease from Basidia.
I don't want to disturb you, but we hoped we could ask some more questions, Sovereign.
You are most welcome to meld with us. You may ask your questions.
Okay. We spoke to a softer who said they delivered a click clack to you. I'll like scrunch up my eyes and try and think what a hook horror looks like.
Okay, yeah, you've seen them, so you picture them in your mind.
Voice changing.
You're still a mushroom, Matt.
I'm still a mushroom. You picture it in your mind, yeah, and you feel the sense of recognition.
We think we may know them. Is it right? Are they here? Could we speak with them?
You see in your mind an image of the mushroom with the purple Y on its face. And then you almost, like in high speed, you see this mushroom walking along a path to the north, taking a left, then taking a right, and then taking another right. And then you see effectively what looks like a chasm and a cave.
Thank you. We will go look there.
You need to understand that place troubles us.
Oh. Can we ask why?
Great creatures take our hunters, destroy our hunters.
We've helped other communities before. Maybe if you tell us a little bit more, we might be able to help here.
Great worms. If you could end the worms, then we would give you the many treasures that we have found. Softer treasures. Sparkly stones and scrolls of mashed zirkwood.
Is that why you got the hook horror to help fight the worms?
The hook horror is a beast, but the hook horror has a mind.
Then it is probably the person we know. Yeah, what was the purpose of them coming here?
We have not spoken with this creature for long because of the worms.
Do we even know if they're still alive?
They may not be alive. The worms are dangerous foes. They are large, They are fierce, devour myconids. They devour softas. They devour all.
Seems legit.
Yeah, proper legit. Or maybe it's not legit. Bit sus. Hard to know. You get an image in your minds just for a second. Just for a split second. It is huge, towering even over Basidia. Strange worm with a beak-like appendage and tentacles extending from its face. And then you get a mental image of it just biting through a myconid.
Does anyone recognize that?
Above table, yes, but I'm not sure if Sev does.
You can give me a nature if you want.
I don't think I would.
My God. Let's
I
get these
No.
rolls out the way before combat starts.
That's a Underdark chicken, clearly.
Of course it is. It does taste like chicken as well.
It does.
If you ever eat one.
Chicken of the cave, they call it.
Oh. Would Serdi have a better idea?
Can we roll? Can someone roll for Serdi?
Oh, is he not here?
He's
Yeah, he-
having real life things happening.
Oh, that's the problem with real life. It does happen.
God damn it, real life.
Why?
You're not welcome here.
No, Serdi doesn't know either.
We are smashing this.
You are.
I don't know.
Let's go
what
fight that Underdark chicken, eh?
How hard can it be? It's only a chicken.
I mean, we can at least investigate.
We also hope it's okay to ask. We wanted to know a bit more about your previous home, how you lost it.
Was lost. The lava. Lost. The molten hot stone from below. We roamed until we found the grove, and the grove allowed us to join.
Your home.
This now is our home. For 30 cycles we have lived here.
Assumably, it's not normal for lava to You weren't expecting your home to be destroyed like that. Was anything unusual happening at the time? Any strange creatures or dream?
Strange things are here, not where we came from.
Oh, like what?
Philo. His spores are diseased. Wrong. New.
Interesting. Have you spoken to Philo about that?
Philo believes change. He believes it must be Change is not our way. We have lived as we have lived for countless generations.
So when they speak of change, is that like these new buildings they're making? Are your people not having the same dream?
No, there are two dreams here. Philo no longer joins the circles.
We did want to ask. He said he was part of the Circle of Masters, and that was new. What exactly do they do?
There has never been a Circle of Masters. There is one sovereign. Usually, here there are two. This Circle of Masters I am not invited to. Philo sends an emissary, second, but this second does not show either. They do not meld, and I am glad they do not meld. I do not wish for their diseased spore.
Aren't you worried that if they're not sharing, if they're not melding with you, they're keeping something secret?
If you would find out what this is, then I would give you everything we have. All of our treasure, all of our softer items that we have collected. Make potions, if you wish it. I can give you potions that will heal your bodies and minds, and make rarer potions if you give me 2 cycles.
I think we're both interested in both these unusual happenings more than anything. We want to make sure that Stool is safe. We took him all this way. We don't want him to be in danger now.
I need to know if there is danger, and if there is danger, then we have hidden areas, hidden nutrients that we can find. We can leave.
What's your opinion on the Union?
I do not know of this great cedar. I do not know. Philo speaks of, I do not know what it is, who it is. It is not Igmorgus. It is something else.
With this union, is it a ceremony? A ritual?
Myconids do not partake in rituals. There is no need. We work, we meld, we rest. That is all.
Have you ever... You've been in the garden?
I have not.
How long until the union? If you know.
I do not know.
I mean, do we go look for worms or do we bust in, kick some ass?
It's my age. Seth.
Your voice changes on.
Don't tell him.
I feel your pain because I did that so many times.
Yeah. It's funnier if it's a squeaky one. You have a passive of 19. Serdi isn't here. Malice as well with your high passives. You're quite close to the wall. You can see the huge mushroom Igmorgus giving off this soft, pinky purple light. And here, almost, it's barely perceptible, but you hear music, like distant music, but discordant and odd. and it is the first real sound you've heard here other than your own voices and your own footsteps, and it drifts very faintly from beyond the wall.
I don't know if anybody else can hear that, but it sounds like whatever's going to take place is taking place. I don't think time's on our side if we're going to disrupt this. If we even can, I don't know. And if we can't, we're going to need to move quick.
Can we even risk this?
What was that? Sorry?
Can we even risk this? Can we risk even being here right now?
Well, my thought is we maybe have this limited window to nip this threat in the bud before it becomes a threat. How true that is, I don't know, but that's my hope. And if we do nothing, then we have a much bigger problem to deal with further down the line. But it's certainly risky. What are your thoughts? Let's go round. Sadie, think?
I'm still of the mind of... We need permission to be in there. Is anyone about that? Or is this a storming in?
Why is it being kept from us? Is it because this is going to happen and they don't want us to interfere?
Well, they said they'd tell us.
Yeah,
You're
but if they...
assuming they're the good guys.
If something fiendish is going on, we need to put a stop to it if we can. If that gets us thrown out of Neverlight Grove afterwards, that's worth it.
We were questioning what was the name? Aramicus, but it might actually be the Great Cedar that's the questionable one. Aramicus could just be Aramicus, just the general fungus. If
the Great Cedar is the pupae version of this demon lord who's about to hatch. I'm using metaphorical terms here, but I think you get the picture.
Was it idiot? I can't say names now. My brain has rotted. It's started to become fungus food.
Basidia?
If Basidia has come into the community about 30 cycles ago, thinks that Philo is wrong, that things are disease. It's whether we believe Basidia or we believe Philo. Basidia's first kind of the conversation where we first had, Malice interpreted Basidia's response as being uncomfortable with the conversation. That could be because they were uncomfortable with us being told information at all, or it could have been...
What was Philo telling us when?
That the drow left within a day, and I think it was just the general thing of we were welcome, we could wander around, that the drow came and left within a day, And
Point two is I followed Basidius and I didn't see him do anything suspicious.
Didier has been working, which is what we know
They're supposed to
Myconids
do.
to do.
And they
Philo-
shared all this with us with other Myconids present. She said it was like a web of minds. It wasn't just Basidia.
And
Yeah,
the
Stool
first
came back and said, you've got to share everything. And he was happy with everything he'd heard.
and the first thing that made me feel uncomfortable was the Circle of Masters, which Philo is a member of. The way Malice understands Myconids, you wouldn't have masters. That seems wrong.
It seems, if you forgive me, but it seems like there are divisions here. Now, whatever we do, whichever one is the one on the side of the right, does it matter? We know there's something going on here, and the thing I've had a whiff of is huge. So we need to. I feel like I need to address it if I can, and if I never return here, then that's sad, but worth it.
One other detail that backs up what we're supposing is Basidius arrived 30 days ago. That weird builder started having dreams 50 days ago, so it was before Basidius even arrived here.
If we trust what Basidia is saying,
Yeah.
I said, but it would be an odd. Basidia wouldn't have known that. Oh no, he might have known.
But I was helping him, so.
At first, I thought that Basidia was the dodgy one. I'm now changing my mind.
Yeah, me too. The real question is, what are we going to do about it?
Should we go see what's going on at the garden?
But there, how do we see on the other side of that wall?
Are the Pincery people still there?
Yeah, I think so.
Why would they use pit? Why would they have guards?
Does anybody recognise those creatures? I don't think I do, but anybody else in the party recognise them?
May do. Serdi doesn't either. Sorry, I rolled a 7 for you while you were away.
Pretty
It's
sure
fine.
I've eaten them with lemon.
A big lemon. Really big lemon.
Sorry, lemons.
Lemons, yes, as they're
Lemons.
known.
Philo told us not to go into the garden. The garden is being guarded in a way that seems aggressive. Again, going
Ooh.
against the nature of the
Sorry.
Myconids. Everything should be shared. The garden is not being shared.
Is
Yeah.
Philo nearby? Or in sight, rather?
Not out here.
I was just looking at that ability, Matt, and
Yeah.
it says there's some golden strands that are attached. Are they
Yeah.
visible to anybody else or just me?
Just to you.
Just to me.
Unless someone's got an ability that lets them see them.
Are there any other ways we can get around those creatures?
I'm going to move away from the wall and take some cover from the general crowd, and certainly the guards. And anybody that's nearby, you'll see me pluck out what looks like a small black feather, but it's not a real feather. It's an intricately carved piece of black wood, and I completely encompass it in my fist, palm up. And as I let it go, there's just a flutter and a flap, and how many? 7 ravens appear and fly up.
Yeah, if you click it should actually summon them for you.
Oh, cool. Lost my character now.
I have a terrible idea.
Nice.
Is Tink small enough to ride a raven?
Probably not. I mean, you can fly on your own, right?
Yeah, I just want to stay with them.
You see these 7 ravens, but they have golden eyes. Their eyes almost look metallic. They have this gold shimmer to them. And they just seem to be the ground waiting for instruction. It's 13 ravens, sorry, not 7.
30, okay. Yeah, almost immediately they'll take to the air but scatter, so that they're not like a really conspicuous blob. They'll try and get as high as the cave system allows, close to the ceiling as it allows, just disperse and just get a general aerial shot of whatever's in that garden.
Okay, right. I'm going to just...
Do they have to go through the wall to do that?
I
assume they're flying.
Top.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Okay.
I am going to.
Can I go invisible and go with them? Use their wings, all of that movement to cover my.
Sure.
Movement.
If that's what you want to do, I will add you as well.
I will spend my invisibility when I can find it.
So pretty.
So, Pink and Steve, you see Sevatar's eyes turn gold, the same as the ravens, and it's almost like he's not seeing through his own eyes anymore. He is seeing like literally through the eyes of all of these 13 ravens, and it should be overwhelming, but it isn't. Tink, as you follow him, over. Nothing seems to pay much attention to these birds flying high. Sev, you see these long, thin gold strands stretching out to each of the birds. As you fly over the wall and look down, you see a number of myconids, including Philo, moving around, and you see lots of little things on the floor. And at first, it's hard to see. What's your perception, Tink? Both roll me a perception. You can see that they're tending to these small round things on the ground. You can get lower if you want, Tink, and I'll give you a bonus to that. Tink, you can't make out what they are. There's just these strange round things with like fungus growing out of them. Some of them are glowing slightly, some of them aren't. But Sev, through the eyes of the ravens, you realise quickly that they are the heads of drow, of Duergar, of gnomes, and they are buried up to their neck in the ground. Their faces are rotten. Their skin is, in some cases, falling off. And you think at first that they're dead, and then you see one of them move, and Tink, you hear it let out a groan of pain and anguish. They're alive, and they're buried. They shouldn't be alive with what's happening to them.
They detached heads, or are their bodies buried in the ground?
Who knows?
Any sign of the Great Cedar?
You see in the distance this huge mushroom, Igmorgus. You can see movement around the base. But no Great Cedar, no demon, no. Just these myconids tending to these heads, these people.
Would I recognize any of them as Zinnia?
Yes. You see one, a drow face, a young woman that was probably quite beautiful once. Her hair is still tied up, although one side is completely covered in this black fungus. You can see this twisted, withered hand holding a Lolth holy symbol out of the water, out of the ground the mouth moving very, very slightly, but you can't hear the words.
I will cast message and say to Malice, Zinnia and the others didn't leave. They're here. They're not quite dead. I think this is why the Cedar would be happy to meet us.
And I can reply to this?
You can.
They're planning to do the same to us. So we're not safe here. Do we fight or do we leave?
There's a lot.
Serdi wants... I can send another message, it's a cantrip. Serdi wanted to fight, but I can't see any sign of anything demonic. Just mushrooms tending to... people fertilizer.
What about disguises? We got any way to alter our appearance? Would that even work?
I would reply to the message. Myconids accept death. I don't believe they kill. This is not normal. This is not as it should be, even if it's not demonic. And then talking to Sev, who I think I'm probably holding on to if he's still like, golden-eyed. I don't know how much use disguises would be. They will still be able to sense us. For me, Matt's frozen in like.
Yeah, me too. It's
Yeah.
perfect. It's amazing.
His mind was blown.
I know that feeling. What a session. So are we all gathering at the edge of the trench like in Blackadder Goes Forth now?
Well, while
Yeah.
you guys were all looking at doing that, I wandered off a little bit and I was walking around the edge of the wall, seeing if I could see somewhere that we could climb up into the garden that was hidden from the rest of the chamber. Maybe anything that we could get up there, any way we could get up there without having to go through those two creatures.
Okay, give me investigation or nature. I'll let you choose.
While he's rolling, Matt, any idea what this electrical effect is on the floor? Is that obvious to through the Raven's eyes?
It does seem like some of these mushrooms are sparking and arcing with little electrical currents, yeah. What they are,
Okay. Yeah.
you don't know. You've
Okay.
not seen them before, but they definitely seem to be arcing, and the myconids that are walking below seem to be staying away from them, largely.
What is this thing down the center of the cavern? Is it water?
It is water.
Is it water like the rotten water, or is it?
Dirty potato water.
It looks relatively clear.
And another question, where the water enters and exits this cavern. Big enough for a Tink or a Sev?
Yeah, it's as big as it is.
Does it go underground there, does it?
Seems to.
Also, we'd have to go into the water. It's not just another tunnel.
No. Oh, up to the north, you see another of the huge chitinous creatures as well. Stood in a tunnel that leads off towards the huge mushroom Igmorgus. Yeah, what did you get, Serdi?
18.
But yeah, you definitely think you could find a way to climb over.
I'll head back and
If
relay
you
that.
wanted to.
It's also 10 past 10.
I was going to say, I think we will leave it there
Oh,
with the
shit.
discovery of the whatever they are, people buried in the ground being taken over by fungus.
It's not natural.
Certainly
Something
not.
of the night about it.
I'm seriously
obsession.
congratulations, like hearing you all like figuring it out and like unraveling it and the logic you were using. It was all like, especially at the end there, you know, there was lots of not quite sures, but like you got all the information you needed and you pieced it all together and you figured it out.
Yeah,
you know, you were-
well done, Hazel. While I sit
Yeah,
here going,
yeah.
they're just mushrooms.
Mushrooms, what are we even doing here? Let's go.
So yeah, very well done. Very well done.
Nicely laid out.
It's,
Yeah, hopefully that map's actually moving for you.
Drop the breadcrumbs for us.
Yeah, very good. Very well done. Very well done. Yeah, we shall pick it up next time, I guess. We probably need to figure out whether there is a game next Monday, with us being in London from Wednesday, but
and I guess not on Sunday either, eh?
You can all gather round my laptop.
yeah, we could gather round. I mean, I need to come back on Sunday so I can be at home.
Can Jim
Oh,
run
yeah.
the stream, maybe?
Well, if I'm at home on
Oh,
Sunday,
are you going back on Sunday?
Yeah, I
Oh,
need
okay.
to. Yeah, I need to because I'm in.
We'll figure
got a
it
work
out.
trip, but yeah, we'll figure it out. But yeah, it just depends what everyone
How
else is
long
doing.
are you in Belfast? What?
Oh, I'm getting my weeks muddled up.
Yeah,
I'm
you're not.
Yeah,
That's not the right.
well, I haven't got Monday off work anyway, so
Oh, okay.
yeah, and I've got some customer visits, so need to be back. But yeah, well done, everyone. Well done. We shall
Nice game, mate.
pick it up next week. Sorry, there was no combat or anything, but I think you did really well.
I
Thank
think
you,
we're gonna
Davey.
Make up for it next session.
Yeah, I think you might be right. And thank you, Davey, for ejecting the spammer. Appreciated.
I missed it. Nice one.
Yeah, nice one indeed. Awesome. Right.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks all. Bye-bye.